Ever wondered why the Israel-Palestine conflict, a dispute that spanned over a century, remains unresolved? This complex issue has roots deeply entwined in history, religion, and politics. It's a puzzle that's been handed down through generations, a complex web of claims and counterclaims that has befuddled the sharpest minds. Why is it so challenging to untangle? What are its origins? And more importantly, what are the potential solutions? To understand the current situation, we need to delve into the past. The roots of this conflict trace back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries. During this time, two significant movements were on the rise. Zionism, a Jewish nationalist movement with the goal of establishing a Jewish homeland, and Arab nationalism, a movement aimed at ending foreign rule and achieving independence for Arab countries. The Balfour Declaration of 1917, a public statement issued by the British government, expressed support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This declaration, coupled with the harsh realities of anti-Semitism in Europe, spurred a significant migration of Jews to Palestine. However, the increasing influx of Jewish immigrants was met with growing apprehension and resistance from the Arab locals. They viewed this migration as a threat to their own national aspirations and their established communities. This, in turn, led to escalating tensions and sporadic outbreaks of violence. The year 1947 marked a significant turning point. The United Nations proposed a partition plan, aiming to divide Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states. This plan, however, was met with vehement opposition from Arab leaders and communities, who saw this as a further encroachment on their rights. The United Nations' decision to partition Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states in 1947 lit the fuse for what was to come. The year 1948 marked the inception of the full-blown conflict, a year that saw the birth of Israel and the outbreak of the Arab-Israeli War. This war, a pivotal point in the region's history, led to a massive displacement of Palestinians, an event known as the Nakba, or the catastrophe. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were forced to leave their homes, creating a refugee crisis that echoes to this day. Fast forward to 1967, another significant year, the year of the Six-Day War. This conflict saw Israel capture the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, further inflaming tensions and setting the stage for decades of strife and confrontation. These territories, once home to Palestinians, became occupied lands, a reality that continues to fuel bitterness and resentment. In the ensuing years, the region witnessed two intifadas, or uprisings. These rebellions were characterized by widespread protests, violent clashes, and a heartbreaking loss of life on both sides. The intifadas were a clear manifestation of the deep-seated hostility and frustration that had been simmering beneath the surface. This cycle of conflict, fueled by territorial disputes, religious differences, and political interests, has continued into the 21st century. A complex tapestry of history, identity, and power, the Israel-Palestine conflict remains one of the most enduring and challenging issues of our time. Despite numerous attempts at peace, a resolution seems elusive. The journey towards tranquility in the Middle East has been a long and winding road, filled with hopeful moments that, unfortunately, have often led to more despair. Take, for instance, the Oslo Accords in the early 90s. This agreement held the promise of mutual recognition between the Palestinians and Israelis. Yet, it faltered due to a lack of trust and compliance on both sides. Similarly, the Camp David summit of 2000 seemed like a beacon of hope, but the contentious issues proved too great to overcome. One of the most significant roadblocks in the way of a peace deal is the question of Jerusalem. Both parties claim the city as their capital, making it a hotbed of tension and disagreement. Then there's the right of return for Palestinian refugees, another problematic point. Palestinians demand the right to return to their former homes, a proposition Israel sees as a threat to its Jewish character. Further complicating matters are the Israeli settlements in the West Bank. These settlements, deemed illegal under international law, are seen by Palestinians as a clear signal of Israel's unwillingness to relinquish control of the land. The path to peace is fraught with obstacles, but understanding the origins and complexities of this conflict is a step towards finding a solution. As we navigate this intricate labyrinth of history and politics, we can nurture a hope for a peaceful tomorrow. In summary, the Israel-Palestine conflict is a complex issue with deep historical roots. We've traced its origins, explored key events, and examined the challenges to peace. While the journey to peace might be long and arduous, it's only through understanding and dialogue that we can hope to see a resolution.